Hey there. In today's world, learning is a very important thing in our life. If you are a knowledge worker or even if you are a student, learning is something that you need to deal with every day. So, in this episode of the ImpleBooks Podcast, I will talk about 5 rules that you must be following if you are someone who learn a lot of stuff, learn a lot of material online, offline, or maybe some other way. So, let's begin. So the first step is the begin with the end in mind. It is something that I learned from the book The Habits, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It is a book written by Stephen Covey, highly recommended as well. But here's the thing. He says that, imagine what you will need when you will be on the deathbed. See, if you think about your death, it's very terrifying, right? So, but when you actually think about it, you will understand your priorities, all the things that you genuinely want in your life. So, he says that you should be practicing that and begin with the end in mind. Now, he talks about life in general, but it is applicable for learning as well. So, you don't need to think about, deathbed thing, but you need to know what you will be learning, what will be the end, what will be the goal, right? What you will accomplish and how it will help others. And the second rule is very important, especially for us who is software engineers. They know it very well. It is called don't reinvent the wheel. So you might be there is a joke constantly going around that software engineers that just copy and paste the code and they get great salary for that, right? But it's not like that. Don't reinvent the wheel says that even if something is done already, if the road is already taken by someone, you should take that material, use it and become better at it. So maybe you're learning something and you already know someone who has done amazing things in that field. You should be following him or her work, and if there is any material present online, or maybe if you can get it offline, please get it. It will improve your learning a lot. And the third point is to verify your trajectory. So sometimes we are learning something and we are thinking that okay, I am learning, it's great, it's going well. But when it comes to the actual application, you think that you did not learn it really well. You need to relearn these things. You need to go through the material again, maybe in a different way, and takes feedback from someone. So what you should be doing is that when you're learning something, if it is a material which is tough, and you should be getting feedback from others to understand whether you are learning, whatever you are learning is correct or not. It happens with me as well. Suppose I'm learning a concept which is new in the software engineering. When I'm learning it, I just seek through the forums and stuff. I just look at what other people are learning and how they are learning it. I follow their rules and stuff, and it is very impactful. So it will help you to understand your trajectory, to know where you are actually going with your learning. And the fourth rule is very important. It is a book also by Deep Work by the Newport, and it is a highly recommended book, guys. And it says that for any knowledge users, deep work is very important. So what is actually deep work? Deep work is all about like you setting aside a timer or something like 40 minutes, 50 minutes. You just, do this deep work sessions 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a day, and that's it. In that time, you should not be talking to anyone. You should not be like, using your mobile phone or anything. It will be you and only you learning about this material, right? So in that case, deep work actually helps you get into the flow state, and flow state is something which is amazing. You will be learning more, you will be enjoying the process as well in the meantime. So deep work is something you should be integrating. If you're someone who deal with a lot of material, or maybe you're learning something new, you will know that how deep work is impactful. It will create a very nice impact on your memory as well. And the fifth one is my favorite, Pareto Principle, and it is something that I learned the hard way, I would say. So whenever I am learning something, I have this tendency. Suppose I am learning a material top to bottom, I see a link, I think that okay, I need to know about it as well. I go to the link and I find some other link. I need to go learn about that as well. By doing that, I sometimes see that I did not even learn the actual material itself. So cut the crap and understand what will be important to actually learn that material. And you can reject everything else. You don't need to know each and everything. You can later understand all this topic. If you learn something, if you find something fascinating, you can read it for later. But you don't need to know everything when you are learning something, right? So you need to understand that. So use the Pareto's principle on your advantage, right? So Pareto principle actually says that 80% of the result comes from the 20% of the work that you do. So yeah, that's you need to do. You need to follow the 20% material which will be useful to understand the 80% of the material that you are learning, right? So yeah, let's conclude today's podcast with 5 rules that I'm talking about. The first thing is the begin with the end in mind. You need to understand that what you will accomplish and how it will help others. The second rule is the don't reinvent the wheel. If someone already has taken the path, if you already know someone who has done this, follow their path, right? 3 is verify your trajectory. So you need to understand where you are actually going, so you don't go to some wrong way while learning it, right? The fourth one is deep work, which is very important if you're a knowledge worker or if you're a student. It will help you a lot tremendously, right? The fifth one is the Pareto principle. 80% of the result comes from the 20% of the work that you do. So if you follow these 5 rules, that will be really helpful when you're learning anything. So that's it for today's podcast. If you like this podcast, don't forget to give 5 stars, because it helps me, it motivates me to create more podcasts like this. So yeah, and from wherever you're listening to, don't forget to subscribe. And if you have any query or message, I am ImpleBooks at Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. So that's it for today. Have a good day.